Hey, happy holidays, you got Craig here with a short review of Bladed Fury. Now, it's a season where some of us might have some extra cash at the moment, so any game could be within your reach, but what if you're still on a budget and you prefer a really good side-scrolling hack and slash game? You've got Bladed Fury. First off, it is a short game, but it's really cheap on Steam right now. Steam says I got about 6 hours from it, but I think other players who are veterans at these types of games will only need 4 hours or less. Now, even with that shortness, you get a very contained experience. There isn't much in terms of wasting your time with Bladed Fury. In this day and age when pointless filler quests are all the rage, this is a very welcome change. It has a very nice sense of directness to the pacing. In terms of its plot, it's Chinese themed, but it's been a while since I've dug into a game that was immersed in such a fantasy. The last game I played on this, of this sort was Jade Empire from BioWare, so it's really been a while. Unless there's a setting I wasn't aware of, the narration is done in Chinese, but you do have subtitles to help you understand the story. That's fine, as I do watch animes like Dragon Ball that are also subbed. The story isn't all that amazing, but it's not terrible. And like I said, since it's been a while since I've been into a fantasy setting of this sort, I really don't mind it at all. The only thing I wonder about is whether the translation is accurate. The game also has platforming, and it's not the complicated type. Now, it's not bad when you think about the time you spend on this title and the price tag that goes with it. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't mean you're getting useless activities. I'm just saying that it's right for what the game is at the moment. It takes a second or two to understand what you need to do, and it really helps with the overall flow or pacing of the story. Aside from platforming, there are also non-combat activities, but it really isn't a whole lot. It's pretty simple mechanics outside of fighting. You have save points, which is also a save your character state. So this is a relief coming from a game like Darksiders 3. Now, speaking of that game, you also have orb and soul systems that you have to manage, and it's somewhat similar to Darksiders. Mobs that die automatically drop them, or you can find them sort of floating in somewhat hidden areas or sections of the game. The system acts as a currency to gain and upgrade new abilities and power up any ability spenders. Now, to me, the combat is the best part of it. While it isn't complicated, it is very engaging. You have two main weapons to work with. You have dual swords and a giant two-hander. It's from these where a majority of your damage will come from. It's fun being able to manage the mobs on your screen, and Bladed Fury allows you to see everything very clearly. All the hits you make are impactful, and the fight sequences are very slick. When available, you also have powered up abilities that you gain as you take down the bosses in different areas. Now, some of their effects are very useful, especially against other bosses, and the effects are pretty good to look at. Now, I really like the cannon ability. The only bad thing about it is that it only has one charge in a single boss fight. Now, the second ability would be the area slow effect, and it's been really useful for me and has saved me in boss fights, especially the final one in the game. Overall though, even though it's a bit short, it's a really fun game. Even though the plot needs some work, I personally think that Bladed Fury is great value because it is a very tight experience. So, thanks for checking this out, and I'll see you on the next one.